come in with an open mind and with an expectancy of changing.
Good evening. Welcome to Shifting Your Life podcast. I have a wonderful guest here with me this evening. She's going to be sharing about different life situations that have came into her life that shifted her life. Of course, when you come into our podcast, we want you to have an open mind and we want you to think about that each story that is going to be shared on this podcast may possibly shift your life into a different direction, or either it may be familiar with somebody that you know or a family member. And so, again, we thank you so much for tuning in. We have Miss Rosalind Dyson with us. She's going to be sharing about a life experience that took place in her life. We're not going to go too deep into it because I know that this is a fragile time for her. Just like I've lost a child, she's lost a child. And so this is around a pivot point in her life right now about her son. And so, Rosalind, thank you so much for joining me today, for being a part of Shifting My Life. And so, Shifting My Life podcast came about because I wanted people to be able to share their stories. And prayerfully, this will be shared all over the world to where it will go into families' living room, and they will be able to listen and take something from it, whether it's in their family or whether it's in a friend's or relatives situation that they're going through. And so I wanted to start out just asking you to tell a little bit about yourself, and then you can kind of go into talking about Trey.
Okay, so my name is Dr. Rosalind Dyson. I'm a college professor. I'm a nurse. I'm an author. But above any of that, I'm a mother. I have 5 kids, 3 chickens, a dog.
The chicken just laid an egg, didn't it?
3 eggs.
3 eggs. Yay for the chicken.
You said going to
Talking about Trey and
Okay.
you know where we are right now, because I know he was supposed to graduate, right?
He's supposed to graduate this
And
May.
so kind of talk about, a little bit. I don't want you to go into what happened, but just share about suicide and, and how you feel about right now where he's not here for that. And, I had a moment myself yesterday. I can just share this right quick. I was purchasing stuff because, I sold my house. And so I'm down here now trying to renovate. And I just had a moment because I was in Home Depot. I felt so alone. I felt like if my son was here, I wouldn't be going through this, having to worry about ex people to do things for me. And so I know that this week had to have been hard on you.
Yeah, so Trey is my second born child. His name is Trey. It's hard spelled backwards. I always tell people what his name means when I say his name. So I have my heart glasses, and everything that we do is heart related.
Mm-hmm.
So Trey died October 3rd, 2019 from suicide after being bullied in school. Trey had a lot of hair. A lot of hair. He actually was growing his hair to donate it when he turned 18. May 6th this year would have been his 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
He was also supposed to graduate from high school this year. Of course, he's not here for us to celebrate his high school graduation. So it was a lot of milestones
Yes.
this month that
That
we
he
were.
was supposed to be here for. Did y'all do anything special for his birthday?
We did not. My students at Southern tried their best.
Mhm.
They got me a portrait of Trey, and they got me this huge birthday cake that said "Happy 18th Birthday,
Oh
Trey."
Lord.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best, but they didn't know. I know everybody is different. For me,
Yes.
the first heavenly birthday, somebody gave me a cake, and it was I was okay with that.
Mhm.
This time, it was just too many milestones, and
Yeah, it was too much.
it was too much.
Yeah,
It was too
and
much.
I don't think that they really understand. It's just like you said, they were just basically just trying to do something to cheer you up. But they're young and they love you and they don't want to see you going through pain. And so, but they just don't know that.
I don't know.
It's nothing nobody really can do for to
Mhm.
cheer you up, Ross, about that. I can identify with that. So, the graduation, how did you feel about that?
So a lot of Trey's friends, a lot of my classmates, we all have kids around the same age. And so I've been invited to their kids' graduation, their kids'
Mhm.
senior nights. And can't say that I 100% want to go, but I do go.
Yes.
I do go in Trey's memory because
Yes.
although Trey's not here, it does give me some little inkling of hope to see somebody else.
But that too gotta be hard. Trying to
It
go
is.
to the graduations and celebrations. You know, it's just all the way around. Like how last Sunday I spoke about being in the room with people that are experiencing and going through the same thing. Makes it so much better. We don't have to wear our face. And so when we go out into the world like that, you have to put on this face like, okay, today I'm okay. Right now I'm okay, but right now I'm subject to break and run out of here, run out this room. You know, was it anybody there at the celebrations that kind of felt what you were going through or understood? You know,
No.
no,
No. Grief can be a very lonely process.
yes, it can be.
I hate when they describe grief as stages because it wasn't until I became a grieving mother that I realized classifying it into stages frustrates me because they'll say, well, you're stuck in this stage, but then they'll also say grieve how you want to grieve. Which one is it?
Which one is it?
So I'd rather just say grief is just a lifelong process.
It is.
That just makes that I can accept that.
Yes.
Just know that I'm be walking with grief
the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well just say it how it is. The rest of our life, because it's, you know, it's something that we learn to deal with. We form our own ways on how we're going to deal with it. You know, we get up every day, we dress ourselves up and go out. But it's a life journey that we have to deal with. You know, kind of touch on a little bit for me about the suicide and, you know, and how you stand on that right now.
So there's a lot of, you know, suicide is a buzzword now. It's a trending word. Some people who talk about suicide, they do because it's trending. Some people who talk about suicide do because they've been impacted by it. There's a lot of research out right now, but what I've learned is that a lot of kids, a lot of young people who do die by suicide, they don't have plans.
They don't have plans.
They don't have
just
plans.
do it.
It's very impulsive. They are used to things being fixed like this, and life is not like that.
Yeah, it's not. And unfortunately, it's not. And you know, the children today just don't feel like they have an out. They don't feel like they have anybody that they can come to. You were a mother to your son, so he had you that he could come to, but he was just going through so much mentally. I think that he just probably felt like nobody really would basically understand what I'm going through, and if I try and tell mom, because you know we mom, they not gonna tell us everything, but it's hard.
What I learned about that too, because now I do interact with a lot of moms who lost a child to suicide, is one, they're not thinking logically.
Yeah, touch on that about the mothers that you have you know contact with now.
Yeah, so I did go to a lot of different grief supports. The only one that really helps me is those moms who lost a child to suicide, because I find myself going to some other grief supports. You know how you go around and you say how your child died?
Right.
When you say, well, my child took his own life, it's still this look of shame. Like, we all lost children.
Right.
But it's a whole nother level
when
they've taken their own lives.
When you say shame, there's a look of shame. They're looking at you like you did something wrong, or that you didn't connect with your child, or
it's a whole,
what is the shame about?
A whole lot of different things. Like, what did you miss? And did you not love your child enough? And oh my gosh, we're here. Like, your child chose to die, ours didn't. That kind of thing. So that can be a little frustrating.
Baby, let me just tell you that even our children that, like my son that died to violence, I don't think it's something that he wanted. I will say that. I stand on that a lot of these children died prematurely. So we all have lost, but I can understand you more of saying that sitting in the room with mothers that have experienced what you have experienced does make it a little bit more easier for you to explain yourself. I had a mother on my grief session the other day say that, I don't think that I belong here. She said, none of the people on here have lost their child to overdose. And I said, I say, I don't want you to feel like you're not comfortable here with us. I say, but we do have other mothers on here that have lost their child to overdose. But I can understand her from that point. Maybe I need to be around other mothers. It's okay for all of us to be together because we feel the same pain, we feel the same hurt. But my child died from violence. Yours died from suicide. Hers died from overdose. We all have lost a child, but it was different circumstances. So we can pretty much understand that. So by you going to you found one that just focuses on suicide.
Yes. So unfortunately, since my child's suicide was so public, a lot of times when there's suicides in schools around Baton Rouge, and there's one every year, I usually get a call from like the family or somebody has recommended that they call and talk to me.
Talk to you, yes.
So it's just different. Like I do appreciate grief support groups, but sometimes we just need that extra so we can just have that
one-on-one, that more intimate. Because a lot of times the grief group is fine, but it's the following up.
Right.
That we need to find more and do more of, because I find that it's okay for the share for that hour and a half. But what's going to happen when I leave here in the midnight hour when I miss my child the most? Or what's going to happen like you with the milestones? What's going to happen then? Where are those people at? Can I reach out to those people? And so, in that grief group, can you reach out to them? Are they like a family?
Yes, I can. I do reach out to other people, and I know sometimes it may seem like I'm kind of standoffish or I'm kind of mean, but sometimes it's just frustrating trying to explain your feelings to somebody who's never going to understand. It's nothing they did, it's nothing you did. They just don't get it. They're blessed not to understand.
Yes. Let me just say this about suicide. About losing your child is something that we don't want to wish on anybody. Like Rosalind say, a lot of times the children won't even much have a plan. They won't even much tell you. And I give you an example. I saw my boss that day. He came to the office, act like everything was fine, speaking to everybody, hi and hey, and sitting down and having conversations with you, and then left work, checked into the hotel, and committed suicide. Never saw it coming. So that's the same thing that will happen with our children in the home. We look for the signs. We try and pay attention to our children. And, it breaks my heart because so many children don't have that. They don't have you.
Yeah, and I think a big thing I had to learn too from talking to another mom who lost her child, they're at school the majority of the time. So although they were in a loving home, it's not like they're an adult and they're at work and when they're unhappy at work or they're uncomfortable, they can leave. No, he's a child and he can't leave school.
Right.
And I'm not there with him.
Right.
So
he didn't feel safe.
Right.
Yes. He didn't feel safe. And so this is going to wrap up the first part of our podcast. Please stay tuned for the second half of the podcast. We will have some more from Rosalind sharing, as well as her daughter is going to be sharing with us about her feelings and how she has healed from how many years it's been? 4 years. So y'all tune back in to Shifting My Life podcast. Hi, thank you for joining in to the second episode, the second part of this episode with Rosalind. And so she's going to be sharing a little bit more. We're going to bring her daughter in because if you watch the first part of the episode, she talks about and shares about the milestones that her son is not here with. And of course, she has 5 beautiful children. She has beautiful girls, and all of them got that beautiful hair, had that beautiful hair like Trey. I was sharing his picture this week with a lot of people. I say, just look at his hair, just look at how, handsome he was. And, we think about that, Rosalind, our children at that age, we didn't have our children to die, but also nobody told us that it would be a possibility that our children could die before us, I don't remember nobody telling me that. Did anybody tell you that? All we knew was that we were mothers and we were excited and we did the best that we could to raise them, and be there for them. And so losing your child to suicide. Talk about suicide a little bit more. Then we're gonna bring your daughter in and let her share a little bit how she's feeling.
So there's a lot of research going on right now about suicide. I know Southern University is doing some research. NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is doing a lot of research, particularly in Black youth.
Yes.
Because this was something that we didn't do, quote unquote, didn't do. But I think this is something that's always been a possibility.
Yes.
It's always been a possibility. It's just because of social media, people see it more.
And I think it's worse because of social media as well. Social media is just playing its ugly face in a lot to do with our kids.
Yeah, it is, and it's hard to monitor it. It's really hard to. So I did have access to all my kids' social media, but there's one thing that kids are pretty smart. So you know about Instagram stories and Facebook stories, they only last for 24 hours. So a lot of times bullying that takes place, hatred, all that kind of stuff takes place via stories because it doesn't last and it can't be tracked.
It can't be tracked.
Once it's unless somebody screenshots it.
Wow, with all this modern technology, you would think that they would be able to track that.
Yeah, so
a lot that he went through with the bullying and stuff was on the stories, but you couldn't get it to use.
We didn't know that he was having we knew about the stuff that's happened at school, but we did not know the things that happened the night before he died.
Wow.
Like the stories and tagging him in the stories, and of course your initial thought is, why would he keep looking at it? Because he kept being tagged. And the way Trey is, the way people are, same reason why we read the comments under these news stories. We want to see if one person is going to stand up or one person is going to say something positive, and that's probably what Trey stayed up to see, if one person.
Just one person. Wow.
Yeah, but unfortunately there was not.
It was not. Well, you're doing a great job in keeping his name alive, because I believe in saying our children's name, keeping their name alive. And so, come on, Carolyn. So, Tivia, thank you so much. You sat here and I know you go through this so much, the interviews and all of that. So let me just say that I appreciate you and your mama taking the time out today to be here to talk about Trey. And so your mom shared how she felt this week. So how has it been for you?
It's been rough because I was only 7 when he died. So at the time I was very fragile. I am still very fragile.
Yes.
And to my viewpoint, I know what he was going through, and it was just hard.
You knew what he was going through at school? Did you know what he was going through on social media?
Well, what I mean by I knew what he was going through, like I understood how he felt being bullied.
Are you being bullied?
No.
Have you ever been bullied? Okay, so that's what you mean when you say you understand how he felt. And so, being that your brother died from that, do you make sure you communicate with your mom and somebody to let them know how you're feeling? Why?
Because I'm the type of person, I don't really feel comfortable talking about emotional things. So I would write it in a journal or just read the Bible.
Okay, well, it's always good to go to the Bible. I believe in that. Because the Bible has scriptures after scriptures that's going to support us and that's going to bring our strength to where it needs to be. But it's so important, just if you can just listen to me, you don't understand how your mother and I feel because we've lost children. But I just want to encourage you to know that you know your mom better than anybody. If it's anything that you feel like you need to share with her, please share with her, because she has lost one child. And I'm not saying that you will do that you will commit suicide. You understand? It's always important, and I'm sure she keeps that open. I'm sure she has a time when she sit down and she talk with y'all and she allows y'all to express yourself, right? Okay? So I know if she's a good teacher for those students up there at Southern, I know that she's a good mother to you. So please, from this day forward, I'm asking you as a mother that has lost to not do that. So please share with your mama, or either get my number and call me and share with me, okay? And I can just say to you that if I think that your mom needs to know, I would tell her. But if I don't think that she does, and this is something between you and I, then I will keep it between us. But please promise me that you will share with somebody. And so the bullying that you're experiencing, is it at school or is it from the media, from social media or what?
So this is back when I went to my old school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was around like after Trey died.
That's what I was gonna ask. Was it around after he died?
Yeah, it was around after Trey died, and me and this girl, we were playing basketball, and I learned this trick from my cousin on how to pretend like we were gonna throw the ball. But so I showed her the trick, and she got really mad, and she was saying how she was gonna hurt me so bad, she was gonna put me in the hospital.
Wow. And did you share that with your mom? You did? Well, good. Yeah.
So when she told me to have a journal, so she may not verbally tell me all the
So
time.
she has that journal
We have
that
a,
you told me about.
Yeah, so all my kids, we have a mommy and me journal that we pass back and forth.
Please tell the audience about that journal, because so many mothers probably are so busy working 2 or 3 jobs and they don't really take the time out to sit down and talk with their children. So share with them about that journal and where they can find it, because I think that that is a great tool to use for mothers to communicate with their children, because a lot of times children won't verbally say it, but they'll write it down. Mm-hmm.
So I have one for each of my children. They're all in different developmental stages. So Chloe's is geared more towards it has little prompts to draw pictures and things like that. It has a mom page where Chloe can draw a picture of how she's feeling or ask questions, and then it has a page for me to respond or ask Chloe questions.
Okay.
With Tiva, hers is like a middle school age, so it just kind of prompts. Her prompts are a little different, gives her more space to share her feelings and things like that. It also gives her the opportunity to ask questions to parents, and then Trinity has one as well.
Okay.
So we all shared one. It was at Christmas. No, that was Easter. I brought them back out, and that was part of the Easter present. They're a little too old for baskets now, so they got the little stuffed animal, and they got their journal that I wrote in, and everybody wrote back.
Okay, well I think that's wonderful, and that's a great tool for any mother that's feel like you're got that gap between your children. And so if you're looking for a tool, I think that it's on Amazon, right? You can purchase it on Amazon. Just make sure that you get a journal, mothers or fathers, if you're raising your children, and so that you can have that time, because we do have to work and we do have to support our families, but it's still important that we have that time where we sit down at the table with our children to discuss things that are going on in their life. And so now we're going to kind of shift it up a little bit. Tell me something about you, funny, that nobody knows that you like to do. We already know that she's a wonderful model. We're going to see her on the magazines from years to come. Her and her sister are models. Well, the whole family does, because Rosalind puts on this show every year in honor of Trey. And so you guys need to be looking for that as well. But tell us something about you that nobody knows that you like to do for fun.
Something I like to do, like after I've done all my curricular activities, after I've done with school, after my homework, is write raps. Like I really enjoy it. I think it's fun.
You like rapping? Because you're supposed to be making a rap song with King. King said you need to call him, because he ready for go on do this. He done wrote it out. He told me to tell you for you to call him. King is another young man that's on another episode that I interviewed. He lost his brother. He was 3 years old to violence. And so him and Tevia are going to be making a rap song. So y'all need to be looking out for that as well. I think that the rapping is a good way for you to express how you feel. Have you written some songs? Most of them geared around Trey, or they just geared around life experiences your age?
Well, most of them was just like fun topics, just And then some of them, depending on my mood, is like how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm listening to Trey, I'm writing about Trey. It's just different things.
Okay. Well, we need to hear a little bit more of those songs. Okay, I need you to be on Instagram because I follow you on Instagram, so I need to be hearing a little bit more of those songs. You getting on there pushing those songs, okay? Because you got to know that your brother is with you and he's in your heart. And I see you repping your heart glasses like your mom. I love that. I love that you guys have found, something to target in on to represent Trey. And so, Rosalind, tell us something about you that you love doing that's fun, that nobody possibly knows that you do. Because you wear so many hats, Rosalind. And so I know it's got to be something that nobody know about you. Now, if you don't want to share it with nobody all over the world, you ain't got to share that incident thing or that one thing. But tell us something funny that you like to do.
I don't know. If you knew me from way back when, I used to dance. I used to be a ballet dancer.
Oh, ballet dancer?
I danced in the Nutcracker with the Baton Rouge Ballet Theater, and I danced.
Oh, wow.
With Dallas Black Dance Theater.
Okay, see, I never knew that. With Dallas Black Dance Theater.
When
Okay.
I was in high school, they had a lot of different workshops, and I was dancing. I danced with Therese School of Dance, and I also danced with Grace Hamilton Academy of Dance in Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
And through Grace Hamilton, I was able to go to the Dallas Black Dance Theater.
Okay.
And dance in the Majestic Theater.
Okay, well that's great. That's great. Again, we just thank you so much for tuning into Shifting My Life podcast, where when everybody that comes in here, we want them to come in and shift the atmosphere in here by sharing their stories, by having the opportunity. And losing a family member is so hard, and so I thank y'all so much, Rosalind and Tivia, for coming, because I know that it kind of gets exhausting telling the story over and over and over again. But again, it gives you the opportunity to keep Trey's name alive, and that's what it's all about. That's what I want this to be about. If you can take anything away from here today, anybody that's watching this particular episode, please take the time to talk to your children, to listen to your children, do some research about suicide. If you see your children are not happy, identify with it and see what's going on. But like Rosalind say, it can happen at any time, and they won't show no signs, right, Rosalind? Unfortunately, they won't show any signs because Trey didn't show any. And so we're so grateful again for you to have tuned in to Shifting My Life podcast. Make sure that you guys go back and look at the other episodes that we have shared. And so I look forward to the next episode that's coming up. You guys have a wonderful evening.